in the Confederation Cup quarter-final as cross sails over. Everyone waiting in the middle. There for Stade Malien. Osman Koulibaly still not getting his final delivery right. But yes. Kapombe hitting the post. The quarter-final. Federation Cup, but then scoring the winning penalty to exercise those demons from 12 months prior. Started this one really brightly. Here's Amligo with an opportunity to put in an early cross, but from one number 5 into the face of another, Babadiara blocking that at some personal expense. Seems to have shaken it off though. It will be Stade Malien free kick either way. Getting his head to that. Yeah, a battle for a farewell to come. You sense Nangu versus Nkeng, Nangu versus Traore. Any long ball from the Malien side to find its way past either Nangu or Traore. As well to hang on to possession. That double pivot of Bello and Camara. Final ball left a little to be desired. It's quickly back with Simba and Suleiman down the other end. Bode looks to send it down the right wing. Tricky one for Koulibaly to deal with. Couldn't keep it in. Maigo try and gain as much territory as he can. Just thinking a little too far forwards there. The young left back, just 18 years of age. He's a Tanzanian under-20 international, brought in from Namungo in the summer, taking the place of long-term left-back for Simba, Mohamed Hosseini. Big boots to fill for the teenager. More than a decade with Simba, Mohamed Hosseini, before leaving for rivals Yanga in the summer. Neo Maema looking for the run of his captain. Kapombe just about got a toe to it, but no chance of keeping that one in. Kapombe straight back on the front foot. Mutali in front of him will fire it across goal. Missed by everyone. He won't be able to keep it in. Involved in everything in the first 10 minutes for Simba. Elian Panzu Congolese winger. Won on New Year's Day 2002 and looking to turn over a new leaf for his side. Like I said, he was probably their brightest spark on match day 1. Never came as close, however, in 90 minutes there as he did in about 20 seconds here in Bamako. Taken down coolly by Amadou Bello. Awine looks to whip one in. Going down in the box there, Amadou Traore, Stade Malien captain, pretty quickly gets himself back to his feet. Ligo forward to Panzu, get it back. Nicely works by Simba. Ahua looking for Mitale. Roar of expectation from the home crowd as Koulibaly brings it forwards, cuts inside, dinks one into the box. It was awkward for Rushin de Roik. Just about got the job done in the end. And Panzu suddenly in on goal. Cut inside again, this time looks to tee it up. Vitali tried to cut inside. Just didn't quite get his first touch right. Simba dominating the early possession. Stade Malien have ventured forward a handful of times, but Simba have started the stronger here. Walimu catching Ismaila Sempara there. Opposing centre-back. Quickest goal I can find in CAF Champions League history. Dug into the history books. Appears to be 11 seconds for Mustafa Shalabi of Zamalek. So it would have been very close to a record-breakingly quick goal for Simba. Adam Panzu has got that strike a few centimetres to the left. Either way, it's a very strong start from Simba. Have to ensure don't let the first half get away from them. Keep this up. It's a good tackle from Kapombe there on Diallo. Quickly, comfortable claim for Suleiman in the end. Another addition in the summer. Tanzanian keeper brought in from JKT. Might be put to work again here. Initially cut out by Mligo. Back with Stade Malien. His Koulibaly drops the shoulder. The cross was deflected. Suleiman first there. Looks to set Simba on their way. Zahua called an opportunity. Grab his first Champions League goal this campaign. It's brought on in the second half on match day 1. Couldn't manage it there. As mentioned, the top scorer in the Tanzanian Premier League, 16 goals, 9 assists as well, which was 4th highest on that chart. fared pretty well on the continental stage as well. Last season, joint 4th top scorer in the Confederation Cup with 3 goals, including the only one, the semi-final victory against Stellenbosch. Yes, it was a quarter-final victory against Al Masri when Bombay struck that decisive final penalty in the shootout, impressively turning that quarter-final around after having lost the first leg 2-0. Simba. And in the semi-final, goal in the first leg, decisive against Stellenbosch, and beaten in the final by Aris McCann. Here's the chance for Stade Malien. The flag stays down as Thaddeus Nkeng turns it home. A close call for the home side inside 30 seconds. A few more since then, but it's they who break the deadlock after a quarter of an hour. He burst down the left-hand side. Kapombe not there, quite a lot of space. De Ruyck sending his man inside. Goes into the middle. And whilst they dealt with the initial threat of the header, Nkeng was there all alone to turn home, beating Suleiman to the rebound and giving Stade Malien the lead and their first goal of this Champions League campaign. Nkeng, a summer signing from FC 105 Libreville in Gabon. Worth every penny, it would appear, on the basis of their first goal of this campaign. A fascinating career thus far, the Cameroonian. Started out, of course, in his home country. Part of the Porto youth system in Portugal. Also spent time in Ukraine with Olympic Donetsk, Finland, HJK, Helsinki, Venezuela, Carabobo, then on to Gabon, and now, of course, Mali. Wide and varied path he has trodden, the 25-year-old. Here, making his mark. His first appearance of this campaign on score sheet. 15 minutes on the clock. Vitali and Simba will look for an instant response. Pound and Panzu, he was quickly closed down. Runs into trouble at the second time of asking. Breaking away again here is Nkeng. Overcame De Ruyck. Looks lively, the goal scorer. It was put in by Koulibaly. Both of Simba's centre-backs dealing with the initial ball in, no one watching the lurking striker. That's a claim. Here's Jakub Suleiman. No one in white anywhere near it. It off to Diallo, who will run here the right-hand side of the Simba defence, causing all kinds of trouble, earning another corner here as we hit the 20-minute mark. De Ruyck dealing with the danger on that occasion. Also, formerly part of the youth system in Portugal. Frustrating match day one, deflected, or his block deflecting the efforts of Benny into the net, and the only goal there, Simba lost and unable to do anything there. Was Nkeng struck on the rebound. Mr. Ruyck to the corner again. Simba looking to break. Mali did well. Now Simba will have to retreat again. Great athleticism from Kapombe, 33 years of age, turning 34 in just over a month. Still looking pretty agile. There, a man about a decade and a half younger than him, Selemani Mwalimu, will turn 20 a few days before Kapombe's 34th birthday. The final days of his teenage years now. And Nkeng will let fly again. Well saved by Suleiman and hacked away by Kapombe. This time it is a Simba player first to the rebound. And Nkeng looks up for it this afternoon. After a quietish stint with Carabobo in Venezuela, wasted no time making headlines in Gabon. 6 goals and 2 assists in his first 5 matches for FC 105 of Libreville. And there he is again! Well, that was Ismaila Sampara who doubles Stade Malien's lead. And Nkeng was there as well. Well, what was a dream start for Simba is turning quickly into a nightmare, striking the woodwork with 15 seconds on the clock. With 23 minutes on the clock, they are 2-0 down. Flicked on brilliantly at the near post, over the head of Suleiman, into the far corner, then over the advertising hoardings. Home fans are loving this. What a start from Stade Malien. Traore sets the home side on their way again. Simba had to steady the ship here, regroup, shown some really positive signs in the first quarter of this game. Now with a mountain to climb, the remaining hour or so, effort from well outside the area, sails well over the bar. loss in the final of the Confederation Cup. The previous season for Simba was the closest they've come to silverware on the continental stage. Best performance in this tournament was a semi-final appearance way back in 1974. On to the quarters in 2019, 2021 and 23. To keep up that pattern, alternating years. Another quarter-final appearance here, but 2025, things aren't going to plan thus far. Albeit it's only about 1 1/3 games into their campaign. Would have hoped for a win though against Petro on home soil, and a decent result here against Stade Malien, their first ever meeting, these two teams. Well claimed by Traoré under pressure. I think a collision there with, was it De Ruyck? Need to see who's stayed down in red. Golo Traoré clearly needing to be checked over. Genuine attempt from De Ruyck. It was the former Sundown centre-back. Koulibaly taking on some advice. It's both De Ruyck and Dinkeng will need treatment. It's a genuine attempt to go for the header for the South African. Missed it and only caught the Stade Malien keeper. It would appear his right leg seems to be what's being treated. Minutes on the clock, 2-0 the scoreline. Samadou Bello, another summer signing for Stade Malien. Played for Aigle, Royal du Mungo and Union Douala. 23 Cameroon international. Joined Stade Malien, take on a new challenge. Signed a 2-year deal. There is Mutale, looking for Mpanzu to his left. Didn't reach him. The hosts are always looking for the counter-attacking opportunities. Failed to get out of their own half on that occasion. Here is Mutale again. Camera right to the right. Seems to be moving okay. Nangu. I wonder if Stade Malien will drop deeper now to defend this lead. Don't need to do much more attacking. It's that quick fire double. In the 16th minute, Simpara in the 23rd. Slows things down, and were trying to play on, maybe not hearing, maybe they didn't, hearing the Stade de Mars that the referee had blown to check the welfare of Jean-Charles Ahoua. Quickly under away and quickly given away by Simba. Here comes Diallo. Looks really lively down that left-hand side, goes to ground in the box. There's a roar from the crowd, but referee was unswayed. Ahoua onto Neo Maema. Matale. Walimu. Tried to tee up Joshua Matale. He's leaning back, the number 7. Couldn't keep it down. It's a surprising absence. Not sure if there was an injury issue on match day 1. The teenager born in Dar es Salaam already made 6 appearances for the Tanzania national side. Scored his first goal. Debut just over a year ago, an AFCON qualifier against the DRC. Scored his first goal in September in the World Cup qualifiers against the Republic of the Congo. Matale and Panzu will let fly, and that is a save N'Golo Traore would expect to make. Say let fly, and it never really left the ground. The effort from the Zambian. Signed last year from Power Dynamos, biggest clubs in his home country, at 175,000. Ligo. It's for Panzu. Find his way past Baba Diarra. Settles for the safe ball back to Maema. Another former Sundowns player, Neo Maema, joined in the summer alongside De Ruyck. A pair of them spending 4 years with the South African champions. Sundowns held to a goalless draw. Their game on Friday night. Oh, it was a little nervy there from Diarra. Certainly could have left that for his keeper, who didn't look best pleased, and didn't heed the advice clearly shouted out by N'Golo Traore. Over 10 minutes left of the first half. I sense if Simba are going to have a chance of getting something out of this game, they could do with a goal before half-time. They look capable of one. Here's Walimu. Wansi takes it in his stride. Ligo floated in onto the head of the camera. Ligo did well to keep that in and send it into the box, but it was well claimed by N'Golo Traore to quickly turn defence into attack. That is Nkeng feeling Could have been a foul. Referee disagreed. Natale. Gapombe. It's over everyone. And out for a Stade Malien throw. Francis Owine, like his fellow left back, also a teenager. Be it for a few more weeks. How to backtrack here, use all that youthful exuberance. Simba and Bello combining to try and stop Mwalimu. Natale, Panzu wriggles his way through one or two white shirts, but not the third. Asked a lot of Diallo that, but he answered emphatically really well to keep it in. Here's Owine looking to put it in low. Get it back. Good work in defence as well from Camara, who are under pressure. It's a free kick. We mentioned those quarter-finals every other year recently for Simba. They've been getting closer across those three. 2019 it was a 4-1 loss to TP Mazembe. 21, a 4-3 loss to eventual runners-up Kaiser Chiefs. They fought back from a 4-0 defeat in the first leg last year, or rather 2023, penalty shootout. As mentioned, again to the eventual runners-up Wydad. We have the most CAF quarter-final appearances by a Tanzanian club, 6 since 2018. Though this campaign is looking like it might be going against them. A couple of hours into it, granted, but beaten at home by Petro and now 2-0 down away on Shea 2. Stade Malien themselves have a long history and around 30 Champions League appearances, at least including the qualifiers. It's Matale. Oh, importantly cut out by Traore. And Mwalimu's there to turn into an empty net. Should the keeper have missed it. Diallo can't keep his cross the right side, the goal line. That's the closest Stade Malien ever came to lifting the trophy, was in their very first appearance, way back 1965. Reached the final of the African Cup of Champions Clubs, as it was known then. Lost 2-1 to Cameroon's Oryx Douala. They did, though, lift the trophy in the Confederation Cup. Dramatic win in the 2009 final. Top their group and beat Egypt's PPI 6-4 in the semi-finals came up against Setif in the final. Lost the first leg 2-0, but fought back. 2-0 win of their own. Prevailed in the all-important shootout for both theirs and Mali's first continental title. Martale spun away very nicely there. And the free kick, much to the chagrin of the home fans. Feeling Francis Awine was hard done by. The best they fared since that triumph in 2009 was a Federation Cup semi-final in 2013. They were beaten by TP Mazembe, who finished bottom of their group in last year's Confederation Cup. 4 points from a group containing the eventual champions, RS Berkane, who beat Simba in the final. Stellenbosch, who Simba beat themselves in the semi-final, and Lunda Sul. 12 months earlier, surprisingly knocked out of the quarterfinals by Ghanaian underdogs Dreams, who really did have a dream run to the semis. Offside flag, frustrating. Anthony Mligo. Bode with some throw, reached the halfway line, way back in his own half. Nangu forced back by the Stade Malien press. Captain Traore leading that pressure at the top of the pitch. Very nearly given away from 134 to the other. Panzu to Nkeng, the near goal scorer to the opening goal scorer. Awine lofted ball forwards, but bounced on through to Suleiman. Turns 26 next weekend, the Simba keeper. Maima. Nicely into the path of Mutali. Some space here on the right-hand side. Plays it to Kwame, gets it back. Now Mpanzu. He looks to pull the trigger. There was no space, no route through to goal. Down goes Ahua. No real appeals. And Stade Malien can not just clear their lines, but look to release Nkeng through on goal. Referee blew for a free kick. Opening scorer of the afternoon. Can't believe it. Final few minutes of this first half, end to end, as were the first few. Third goal here for the home side, but all but secure them 3 points. Kapombe to Mwalimu back on the right-hand side. It's a fairly fluid attacking setup. Mutale and Mwalimu interchanging between the central and right wing positions. As we tick to the 45-minute mark, it's Stade Malien with the ball just outside the Simba area again. Into the middle, headed away by Mligo. It'll be 3 minutes of additional time. comes Traore. Had to time that right. Did so. And Traore beat Walimu there. Pass also evades the young winger. Traore will take the goal kick. It's route 1 for Nkeng. The Cameroonian was considered a major asset to the Malien champions when he joined. Proving to be that way, it would appear. First goal here, first goal in the qualifiers as well. Excellent addition to this Stade Malien side. A huge amount of change in this Stade Malien side as Traore, one of the older hands, looks to let fly. A lot of work done in the summer transfer window and seems to be paying off. Not needing too much time to gel. Build here on that goalless draw away in Rades. It would appear we'll head into half-time here with a 2-0 lead. It'll be 3. Koulibaly with a miss-hit, a let-off for Simba, but the Tanzanians still have a lot of work to do in the second half. They may have struck the woodwork with 15 seconds on the clock, but it's Stade Malien with the 2-goal lead at the halfway point. Tadis Nkeng with an opener after 15 minutes. Ismaila Simpara doubling the lead 7 minutes later from a corner. Plenty to talk about. Welcome back to Bamako for the second half of this second group game of the CAF Champions League between Stade Malien and Simba. And it is the home side, despite having seen their post rattled with 15 seconds on the clock, who lead 2-0 at the halfway point. Having survived that early scare, they soon went down the other end. 15 minutes on the clock when Thaddeus and Keng scored the opener before that man on your screen right now, Ismaila Simpara, doubled the lead. Another 7 minutes later, and while Simba have shown a fair amount in attack, they have looked a little weak at the back on occasion, a little nervy. I'm sure Dimitar Pantev and his team would have done something to address those issues in half-time, and here you see a triple substitution, it would appear, for Simba. Rushin de Royk's number there being held up, Selemani and Walimu as well. On comes Jonathan Soa as a second half sub on match day 1 as well, the Ghanaian. Alassane Kante, a starter on match day 1, central midfielder, also entering the pitch. It is looking like now or never, almost in this Champions League campaign for Simba. Only 1.5 games in, but Jean-Charles Ahoua sacrificed as well. Maurice Abraham, the third of those 3 changes as we get back underway for the second half. And yeah, Simba having lost on home soil, match day 1, staring down the barrel of 2 defeats from 2. Will that triple change have the desired effect for Dimitar Pantev and his assistant? You will see in the dugout Seleman Abdallah Matola, Stade Malien's second goal scorer, Ismaila Simpara, needing some early treatment. Jonathan Soa always throws his weight around and has entered the book inside a minute of entering the fray. Not the kind of immediate impact he'd have been hoping for. It was a literal impact on Simpara. Did well initially to cut inside the first defender, but beaten to the ball by the centre-back and studs into his ankle. It appeared to be a change of shape, an attacking one at that. That triple substitution for Simba. Centre-back going off in Rushin de Royk. Midfielder in Ahoua, a forward in Mwalimu. On in their place, Alassane Kante, a midfielder. Soa, forward, and Abraham, an attacking midfielder. Seeing the number 2 there as well of Shamu Karaboué. Was it actually 4 substitutions made? That's not going to help matters. Swing and a miss there from Naby Camara, and here come Stade Malien. Will they be clinical again in front of goal? Well, it was off the thigh of Mamadou Traoré in the end. Rather fired into his midriff, couldn't contort himself in a way to divert that on target. They went back straight away, Simba at 6s and 7s at the back, to borrow a cliche. Now let off there by a disappointing delivery, but another scare at the back. Moussa Diallo with a wry smile. Third goal for the home side would surely kill the game off. Comes down the other end, and Panzu, once again their brightest spark in the first half, looking to make something happen. He very nearly did inside 20 seconds. Who hit the post in the first minute. Nangu certainly still on the pitch, seeing camera. There is the number 2 of Shamu Karaboué. If so, Dimitar Pantev has only left himself with one change for the entirety of the second half. And Panzu, a lovely weighted ball through. Offside flag was up, maybe sparing the blushes of Jonathan Soa. He hadn't got his feet right there. Ball through his legs. He'll say he knew it was offside, but yes, that would have been a big miss. The offside flag not been raised, and that been the same end result. Joshua Mutale also brought off. You saw the graphic there. Here through is Jonathan Soa. Huge opportunity. Had one a moment ago. Was ruled out by the offside flag. That time the flag stayed down, but once again, didn't get the contact he was hoping for. All over the top, in behind the defence. First touch was good. Then just got the ball stuck under his feet a touch. Can't afford to be passing up opportunities like that if they are to get something out of this game. Reminder of the hashtag TotalEnergies CAFCL. Follow the conversation online on your social media platform of choice. Ligo. Kante looking it forwards. And Panzu. So yeah, seemingly the 4 changes, which Shamu Karaboué filling the hole in the Simba defence left by De Oric. Presumably back to the same kind of 4-3-3 setup, 4-2-3-1 maybe, that Simba started with. Here's Neo Maema trying to find his way through a matrix of white shirts in front of him, laid off by Kante. Here is Maema again. Could improve with him using all of his attacking ability as Keng races down the other end, just about beaten to the ball by Nangu, who's not exactly sluggish himself. Simba with 13 national team players in their side. Malien just 2. They're looking the far more dangerous, and they could have had a third there. Pounds the ground in frustration. Moussa Diallo switched over to the right wing for the second half. He's having just as much joy as he did on the left. This time the finish didn't match up to the running. Ibrahima Kamara gives away a free kick. Ball in for Soa. Struck from range. And that is some way to half the deficit. Simba have a shout. They also have a player down. As do Stade Malien. Lot to unpack here. I think that the point may be being made by N'Golo Traore. Either appeals for his defence as to how there was so much space offered up, or appeals to the referee that the match should have been stopped. The referee has his notebook out. What exactly has gone on here? We wait for a replay of that stunning strike. Diallo very nearly made it 3-0 to Stade Malien a moment ago. Fine margins of football. A near miss at one end to a cracker down the other. And a two-goal swing effectively in the space of about 60 seconds. Here, Maema is the chosen one for Simba, perhaps. He's certainly given them hope here. Over half an hour to play. I mean, looked like they were running out of ideas, frustrated. And suddenly look reinvigorated. Laid out left by Abraham is Mpanzu. He's looking for Maema and Soa in the middle. Yeah, Maema is definitely pushed up as part of that half-time reshuffle. Have to be wary of the Stade Malien counter. Let's see the lead back out to 2. For now, it's that same combination waiting in the middle. Appeals there of handball from Mpanzu on the left, turned down by the referee. It's Abraham. Go all the way back to Jacob Suleiman. We said there was a long way to go in this game and a long way to go in this Champions League campaign. Simba showing that now. But as quickly as the game came to them, it could slip away again. That cross well claimed by Suleiman. Soa to Abraham. Cut inside onto his favoured left foot. The summer signing brought in from Europe, from Serbia. Spartak. Been with them for a number of years, part of the youth system, but now returning to his home country, Tanzania. 9 appearances for the national side. He struck from range again and not too far over from Naby Camara. Suddenly Stade Malien looking a little nervous, and a change made by Muriel Njoya. Off will come Ibrahima Camara, 21-year-old. Have been looking rock solid in midfield for much of the first 50 minutes or so. He is replaced by Haman. A little frustrated to make way. Haman Manjan brought on for just over half an hour. Here's Kapombe. Nice delivery into the back post, but no one was there. Calmly done by Bode. Racing through here, once again is Nkeng, who goes down inside the box. It's tapped home by Mamadou Traore. The referee had already waved to the spot for a penalty kick. Stade Malien want the goal, not the penalty. They wanted the advantage. I think they're going to have to settle for another chance to put that home from 12 yards as Jakub Suleiman is picked back to his feet. Momentum swings from one direction to the other again. It was Nkeng showing his strength and his speed, beating Shamu Karaboué to the ball, and then Suleiman as well, knocking it past the keeper, brought down. And now, whether or not they should already be 2 up, as Suleiman has shown a yellow card. Stade Malien with a golden opportunity to double their lead once again. Will Suleiman be able to make amends, giving away the spot kick? Home players and fans will be, could say, less than pleased. If that is to be the case, they'll feel that this goal was already theirs. The complaints have been waved away by the Malagasy referee. It's now over to the main man, Thaddeus Nkeng. Won the penalty to try and convert it. Cameroonian opened the scoring about an hour ago. He'll look for his second and Stade Malien's third once the referee has dealt with some encroachment or potential encroachment. Reading out the riot act. Deep breath for the Cameroonian centre forward. Steadies himself. Stutters. And it's saved by Jakub Suleiman. Well, Stade Malien will feel a sense of injustice. They wanted the advantage rather than the penalty. But either way, that penalty was saved. Nkeng, not quite hero to zero, but opportunity to restore a 2-goal lead is passed up. Well saved by Jakub Suleiman, the opening scorer here in Bamako. Can't double his tally. There will be a corner to deal with here, though. Danger not over entirely just yet for Simba. Karaboué was involved in that moment, giving away the penalty. With the header as Panzu was brought down, he felt cynically. Referee either disagreeing or not seeing it. It was a very quick turnaround from Suleiman, and you can see a fifth substitute ready to make his bow for Simba on the sidelines. Fifth and final with half an hour still to go. Having survived that scare, still feel the momentum is with Simba currently after having reduced the lead to 1. That's another change deemed necessary by their head coach. will be Stephen Makwala. Play the final half an hour. Ugandan, who is joint 4th top scorer in last season's Tanzanian Premier League. 13 goals, 3 shy of Ahua at the top of the charts. Replaces the man who halved the deficit here in some style, Naomi Aima. So an attacking change from Dimitar Pantev, centre forward on for attacking midfielder. It'll be a front two of Soa and Makwala, as it was in the latter stages as they sought an equaliser a week ago against Petro. It's the same story again here. Now a front four. Abraham on the right and Panzu on the left. Soa and Makwala down the middle. At least that would be the expected setup. See Elian Panzu currently in a central position as referee blows for a Simba free kick. Been a lot of action here in Bamako. Still half an hour to go. It's a long way to go. A long journey to this point. Of course, we will finally get to look at the stunning effort there. Maema with one touch, letting fly. Hammered home on the volley to give his side hope. He's going to drop for Kapombe. Got it all wrong, fired it into the ground. It's a big opportunity for the captain, who puts his head in his hands. Maybe even had the time to take a touch there. Traore goes long. King looking to win the header. Traore pushing on. It was Manjan, the substitute, who has gone down and won the free kick. King would love another opportunity to make amends for the penalty miss, I'm sure. Made a habit of stunning starts. As mentioned, 6 goals in his first 5, including hat-trick. His time at his previous home in Gabon. There were clubs who've been sniffing around him. Russia, some in Europe as well, Serbia and Romania. Cameroonian chose Stade Malien, immediately scoring 15 minutes into his Champions League debut. Not able to add the second. He'll hope he and his side don't regret that anymore, and they already do. 3-1 will be far more comfortable as we tick towards the final quarter of this game. Kuala always full of running. Uganda international scored the equaliser in that dramatic quarter-final with Al Masri last season, as well as the second penalty in the shootout. Kapombe scored the winning goal in the shootout, but couldn't conjure up the equaliser there, and offered the opportunity to do so a moment ago. Traore claims that presumably already off the pitch. So I was about to say, it's a pretty long journey to this point for these two in the qualifiers. Simba, a very tough opponent in the first round of Gaborone United. Botswana's side keeping them honest. 2-1 on aggregate in the end. A win for Simba. Malien Panzu with the all-important goal in the first leg, 1-1 draw in the second. It was much more comfortable in the second round of qualifiers, 3-0 win against Singizini Hotspurs. Kapombe looking to turn provider, Makwala trying to bring it down. In that second round of qualifiers, it was Kibu Dennis with 2 of the 3 goals, Nangu with the other. They are still missing Kibu Dennis, reliable source of goals, whether finishing them or creating them. He's still absent, as he was for matchday 1 due to a family bereavement. He'll be missing his presence in the final third. It took a moment of brilliance from Maema to put them back within touching distance in this game. They still need to find that final pass more often. They get in around the Stade Malien area. A few absences as well for Simba. Musa Kamara, important midfield leader, injured. Abdul Razak Hamza as well, defender out. Awesu and Mohamed Bajaba also not part of the squad, as it was almost another piece of brilliance from range, which sees an irate N'Golo Traore lay into his defence and his midfield. Makwala offered up plenty of space there to set himself and let fly. Just curled away from the near post this time. Whilst Simba were made to work hard in the first round of qualifiers, it was all pretty plain sailing for Stade Malien against AS Tompets of Central African Republic. 7-0 win on aggregate there. Usman Koulibaly with a brace, Simpara and Keng, and Koulibaly with the 5th. In the first leg, 2-0 in the second. Comfortable enough in the second round as well against FC Nouadhibou, the former home of their manager, Marilyn Chouaya. Spent time with Nouadhibou and the Mauritanian youth teams. Joined Stade Malien in the summer. However comfortable they had it in the qualifiers. Been up against it as the second half has stretched on, but they have a throw now deep in Simba territory as we tick towards the final quarter of an hour. Space here for Usman Koulibaly. Slipped as he put the ball in, but nonetheless he picked out his fellow winger Diallo on the other side. His shot blocked. Diarra gets his head to that. Camera just about keeping possession for Simba. Kante will bring it forwards. Leaves it left to Mligo. It's beyond Makwala. So we'll get there. Another shot from range. It's blocked, this time from Abraham. Are they going to produce 2 worldies to restore parity here? They've looked closer when shooting from range than they have in the box, in truth, up to this point. Abraham, though, with a brilliant ball in and a slip from Soa. Again, his blushes are spared by the offside flag, I believe, and N'Golo Traore is, I think, it's fair to say, running pretty hot. Running over and barging Soa. Not best pleased there with something in the build-up. I didn't see anything particularly egregious from the Ghanaian centre forward. Didn't react, to his credit, to the reaction from Traore. He was certainly onside. Offside flag did stay down. Not sure why that referee blew. It's another chance. Passed up by Jonathan Soa. Forearm into the keeper. That's what Golo Traore disagreed with. Presumably that's what the referee blew for as well. Having only made one change whilst his opposite number had made 5 already. Marlon Joya will make 2 more. Double change is incoming. Seemingly be Moussa Diallo to make way. He will be replaced by Konare. Simba Konare, 17-year-old. He's a defender. Recently playing in the Under-17 World Cup. As Jakub Suleiman has to dive in and try to get to that ball first. Did so and found a teammate as well. Bagayoko, the other player introduced in that double change for Stade Malien. Midfielder Lassine Bagayoko. Here he is for the first time, 21-year-old, using those fresh legs. That youthful exuberance. Strong on the bench against Esperance. He'll get quarter of an hour to show what he can do here. Is Makwala determined to do so as well. Just overrunning that one. Charges around the pitch, the Ugandan. Yoko again, getting Pinty involved. Winning a free kick there. Karaboué can't believe it. It's a nice flick into his path. And Francis Awine. Simba will have a free kick to defend now. Final 15. It'll be seemingly either Aman Manjan or Konare to put this one into the box. And there's Manjan. It's going to be a comfortable catch for Jakub Suleiman. To put the ball in from the teenager on the far side is blocked. He'll get another opportunity. Trying to run it around Mligo. His fellow youngster was alive and alert to the danger. Another change. Buses, these Stade Malien subs. It'll be the man who started the game against Esperance up top. Zumana Simpara, straight swap with Thaddeus Nkeng. A goal on his Champions League debut for Stade Malien. Still frustrated, I'm sure, not to make it a brace from the spot. So we'll lays it off to Kapombe. Back to the right back. Trying to play it through. Abraham also in support. Stade Malien hold firm, and they're not parking the bus just yet. Not much more than 10 minutes of the 90 remaining. As Anjan goes down, holding his left boot. To their credit, still utilising attack as one of the main forms of defence. Yellow card out before the referee. Is that shown to? Frustration on the Simba bench, it's fair to say. Confirmed shortly. He has entered the referee's book. Not sure if it was Anjan for time wasting. If so, it seemed a little harsh. Home fans feel that's harsh as well on Ousmane Coulibaly. Penalised for that bump into Anthony Mligo. Leaning in with the shoulder, having switched back over to the right wing, the number 7. Alassane Kante. Kante into Stade Malien half. And Mligo. It's onto the head of Makwala. He wasn't sure where it had gone. And get to the rebound. Anjan. A calm pass to his teenage substitute. Bagayoko wins another free kick, causing a nuisance down that left-hand side. Floated over to the far side, edge of the box. It's inventive way to get it on target from Simpara. About all he could do from that position. No one there to try and follow in. Stade Malien are wrapped up in a decades-long, still ongoing battle with Joliba to be Mali's greatest team. And that is going to be another decision for the referee to make. Was he last man? Alassane Kante brought on in the second half. And it is a red card for the Simba substitute. Got the wrong side of the attacker, hauled him down cynically. And Simba will be a man down as well as a goal down for the final 10 minutes. Beautifully taken on the chest there by Soumana Simpara. It always looked likely to be a dismissal. You can see the reaction even there from Alassane Kante. Senegalese trying to explain to the referee. Reached for his red card, nonetheless, pretty quickly. And now, to make matters worse, very dangerously positioned free kick. Simba to try and survive and push on with 10 men in the final 10 minutes. He survived the scare from 12 yards, how about 20? With Coulibaly and Traore. And Manjan, rather, set to take. Aman Manjan! Drops to his knees. He too thought that might just be about to nestle in the far corner. It was the wrong side of the post from his and Stade Malien's perspective. Play on, says the referee. Despite having a numerical advantage, Stade Malien offering up plenty of space there. It's Maurice Abraham. It was quickly won back. Pushing on. And that left-hand side was Canare. Simba Canare, 17-year-old, will be for another half a year. Yes, as I had started saying, was playing in the Under-17 World Cup in Qatar over the past month. Mali, though, they're knocked out. Lost 3-0 to eventual runners-up Austria, who defied all expectations, had never won a game at the Under-17 World Cup finals before, then won 7 in a row before being beaten by Portugal. Claimed the trophy for the first time. Canare played in all 3 group games against Austria, New Zealand, which they won 3-0, and Zambia. Eventually knocked out by Morocco. Round of 32. And looking to make it through to the knockouts here. Of course, it is straight into the quarter-finals. For the top 2 in the 4 groups in the Champions League. Simba looking up against it. Now 5 minutes to try and find an equaliser. Defy their numerical disadvantage. Karabui out to Kapombe, loses out and now has to backtrack. A free kick given against Simba player for a challenge on Simpara. This time it was the captain, clumsily into the back of the centre forward. Born in Bamako, Soumana Simpara. Here he is again, getting his head to the cross. Another close call. This one sailing via the head of the substitute, just beyond the far post. He could have wrapped this one up on a number of occasions, Stade Malien. Beating Karabui to the ball. From our angle, looked like it was about to nestle in the net, but again, wasn't to be. Brought in from rivals Joliba in the summer after 3 years there. 1 year with New York Red Bulls 2 in his teens, and then 18 months with Toulon in France between 21 and 23. A well-travelled centre forward, the Bamako-born Malien. Quick feet there from Bagayoko. Wants it back, doesn't get it. Bode continues his run, he does get it back. It's over the head of Simpara, caught on the volley by Canare, up into the air, claimed by Suleiman. So I was talking about that decades-long battle with Joliba. They had moved one clear with their 24th title in 2024, Joliba, but Stade Malien coming out on top last campaign to level it back up once again. 8 points clear of their rivals in the end. And the Malian top flight had briefly taken the lead in that race to have the most titles to their name, with back-to-back triumphs in 2020 and 21. Jaliba levelled things back up in 22, ending a decade-long wait to lift the trophy for Real Bamako, the only other club to have won the title. Took their first win in over 30 years in 2023. Stade Malien actually only managed a lowly 9th in that campaign, but still qualified for the Confederation Cup thanks to a Malien Cup win. Simba have domestic rivals of their own, of course, in young Africans, cross-city rivals. They haven't won the Tanzanian domestic crown in the last few seasons. Momentum swinging back to Yanga. 2021 triumph had been their 4th in a row, 22nd in total. Yanga, after winning 4 in a row of their own, now have extended that record, most titles to 31. Rare occasion of not finishing as the top 2 as Naby Camara earns himself a yellow card, and we enter 4 minutes of additional time. So 18 months ago, finishing 3rd, and that's why Simba found themselves in the Confederation Cup last campaign, now back to the Champions League, but are they set to miss out on the knockouts, which has been a rarity? You see that reaction from Camara, lucky to escape with just a yellow. Frustration threatening to boil over here late on. Jonathan Soa trying to get his head to the ball. It's been another frustrating cameo for the Ghanaian. Simpara can't spark a breakaway. Kuala also fails to find Soa. Gives it back and gives it straight away again. 1 of the 4 minutes has gone. Simpara fails to bring that under control. Long ball forwards for Kapombe, who's done well to get his head to it. Quite enough on the header to find Makwala. Those wondering, the 2 Simparas now on the pitch for Stade Malien, not brothers. Born 4 months apart, so not biologically likely. Zumana born February 98, Ismaila in June the same year. Both in their prime, 27 years of age. Perhaps surprisingly, it was Ismaila on the score sheet here, centre-back. The forward get a chance to join him here. He was heading into the right kind of area. Not quite there in time. Ball across the corridor of uncertainty. Just delayed his run slightly, Sumana Simpara. So it's Simba, and the ball lofted forwards. A little over 60 seconds to find the elusive equaliser. Can Makwala be the man to do so? Back to Mpanzu. Deli Mpanzu. Oh, it's all the way through, but the referee had already blown. The man who hit the post after 20 seconds, heading into the final seconds, nearly with a chance to right the wrongs of that near miss early on. That may well be that for Simba. Narrow defeat a week ago. Thinking it might be even worse here. Simana Simpara, though, Not able to get on the end of the pass from Bagayoko. Koulibaly will stand on the ball by the corner flag, look to kill off the final few seconds. Simba get a throw, but the 94 minutes have come and gone. And there is the final whistle. A narrow defeat on home soil a week ago. It's the same story away in Bamako for Simba on match day 2.